Yes, welcome in. Do it, Trev. Go ahead. Do it. Just rock on, whatever. You ever been to a rock concert, Trev? Like when your hair was long and you had hair back in the day?
No, I never have. I feel like that's something I need to do, right? Bucket list. Am I too old now, though? I feel like I might be too old.
All right, no. Hold on. I think any concert you ever go to, you're never going to be the oldest. You're never going to be the youngest. You're never going to be the worst dancer. You won't be the best dancer. If you go and vibe to the music, I don't think you're too old.
I also could go to like an older rock band, right? Like I could go to like a Metallica concert. You know what I mean?
I'm saying any concert, yeah. I guess you could play Metallica, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Leonard Skinner. I won't know the difference.
Yeah.
You could tell me it's anybody. I'd be like, yeah, that's them because I don't know them. Sure, you fit the criteria of a Metallica fan, totally.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I fit right in, George.
Yeah, totally. I totally know what that criteria is. Oh, by the way, this is Foxboro Rush for our audio listeners.
Rock on!
Thank you for making us a part of your day. Wherever you're getting this podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, please like, subscribe, rate, review, download, listen, comment. If you're on social media, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, follow Nesson on all the channels. Follow Travis Thomas Experience. Follow George Balekji. Tweet at us. Comment on our stuff if you want to become part of the show.
Yep.
And if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, same thing. Like and subscribe and comment as well. Got a packed show for you guys today. PFF, we went through the ratings of the offense throughout the league, where the Patriots are at the bottom.
Right.
Good thing to hear. This defense, once again, will be a typical Patriots defense. So we're going to go through secondary, linebacker, and defensive line rankings. We're also going to go through some of the worst trades in NFL history as well. We got plenty more, all that and more right here on Foxboro Rush. Trav, we're going to start with the secondary rankings.
Yes.
And the Patriots, this could be seen as one of the weaker points on the team. That's what PFF sees it. To me, it's all about the question marks. If you had to guess where the Patriots secondary ranks in the landscape of all 32 teams in the NFL, where would you guess they'd land?
I would think they get a low ranking because they were injured last season and because PFF is probably factoring in no Bill Belichick. My mind, I feel like they should be middle of the pack. But that's because I'm weighing in that they will be healthy this year. Christian Gonzalez mainly. I'll go bottom half of the middle of the pack. Let's call it somewhere in the late teens. Maybe like...
Oh, okay. You had
Let's
me
go
doing
18, 19.
You had me doing too much math there. You're like bottom half.
Yeah, like, there's
middle of
levels.
the pack.
Yeah, there's
18,
levels.
19. Close.
Okay.
Not spot on, but close.
Where?
21st.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think they're higher, though. I think they're closer to, let's go 14, 15-ish when healthy.
I'm a big believer in Christian Gonzalez. He's special. We know that.
Yes.
We've seen it. We only saw a 4-game sample size.
Right.
Before he injured his shoulder as a rookie and was done for the season. Jack Jones, who was a cornerback 2 last season, no longer on the team. So it's Jonathan Jones.
Yep.
Marcellus Dial, their 6th-round pick. Don't expect much from him. He's more of a special teams guy. Marcus Jones, their nickel corner. He is what he is.
Yeah.
Jabril Peppers.
I like.
Kyle Duggar. Marte Mapu should take a leap in year 2 after redshirting his rookie season.
Yeah.
That's a guy that could play anywhere and be another Kyle Duggar, but can play safety. So maybe him slotting in helps out. I think if the back end of this defense can be better, and if Jabril Peppers continues his play at free safety and really playing in that role, Kyle Duggar gets back into the box, I think it'll help him. I would give this secondary higher than 21.
Me too.
I would give them more middle of the pack.
You agree with me?
Because of the question marks, yes. I think the one thing you have to count, yes, you said it, Bill Belichick's gone.
Yeah.
Gerard Mayo is now the head coach.
Well, we think there's not going to be a drop-off in defensive mentality in terms of the head coach, George. But maybe PFF looks at it as there will be.
But Steven Belichick is still the safeties coach.
Yeah.
Mike Pellegrino is still the cornerbacks coach. Say what you want about those guys and what their past was.
Right.
They are the reasons. A Kyle Duggar out of Lenore-Rhine, a D2 school, is one of the best safeties in the game.
Yeah.
They're the reason J.C. Jackson out of Maryland, from an undrafted free agent to one of the top corners.
That's right.
Jack Jones, a cast-off, fell in the draft because he's off the field. And he was bad off the field.
Yes, he was.
But when he played, he was good. Why Alex Austin, Sean Wade took a jump in their game. Mike Pellegrino and Steven Belichick. I give them higher than 21 in this one. But I understand why you knock them. It is a lot of question marks. It's a lot of uncertainty. You have to see a lot of play follow up. But I think it's going to be a better this defense is going to be great still. It's going to be one of the
Yeah.
best units in the league.
Yeah.
This secondary will be one of the better units in the league if Christian Gonzalez
Barring
can play all
injury.
17 games.
Yeah, I also think, too, not to turn this back to offense, because I do want to talk defense.
Oh.
But
No, I see where you're going.
yeah, like you got to think about that. I mean, if these guys are on the field all the damn time because offense can't do anything, well, of course you're at some point in this league, George. I mean, the rules are catered to the wide receivers and to the quarterbacks. Points are a premium. Everyone cares about scoring with fantasy and betting and all that. I mean, what do you want a defense to do? You can't put your hands on these wide receivers. You can't even look at a quarterback without getting a penalty. So if your offense stinks and it's a turnstile, 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt, any defense. I mean, hell, the 85 Bears are going to be like, can we get a break, please? So some of that is this, too. I think you can, for Pro Football Focus, they can sort of project a few different things. No Belichick, no Bill Belichick being there. But also, the Patriots offense is going to stink. We know that for another year at least. So that's going to put more pressure on their defense across the board, all these positions. I know we're going to talk linebackers, but, that has to be baked into this too, George. So even though you and I both think it's too low for the Patriots, I at least understand where they get the number from. Does that make sense?
Yeah. This defense will be helped more. I think they're going to have an actual professional offensive system put in place.
I agree.
Right?
Yep.
With the general manager,
Yep.
the de facto, and Elliott Wolf, and Alex Van Pelt being on the same page of who do I need for my offense? Who do I want? What can you get me?
That's right.
Receiving group is deeper. So this offense will be improved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're one of the, if not the worst offense in the league last year.
You don't
so.
sound confident, George.
Well, when all you can go is from 0 up, like you're going to improve.
Yeah.
You can't go lower than bottom. Yeah.
No.
Which I
No.
thought 2 years ago was, and then I watched this last season.
Oh.
So I think defense will take it up. If you had to guess, who were the top 3? We're talking
Top 3
secondaries.
corners?
Secondaries.
So
Secondary
secondaries?
units as a whole.
I mean, don't you have to start with the champs? Like, I understand probably on paper they're going to have teams like the Jets or whoever, but I look, like Kansas City, no one talks about this, and it drives me nuts. And I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. I'm a Travis Kelce fan. I'm an Andy Reid fan. No one talks about how last season was won with defense.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense gets no credit. I mean, it's incredible to me. Like, we all watch these games. Am I the only one that sees that the defense is dominant? And yeah, oh, by the way, it was almost like Mahomes and Kelce and Andy Reid as an offensive mind, they were complementary pieces to the defense. I mean, like, the defense was dominant, George, particularly in that secondary. If the Chiefs are not top 3, then I'm throwing this whole damn list away. I'm sorry. All of them. But I'm sure the Jets will be up there because, hey, on paper, they are talented as all get out. They are.
Number 9. Chiefs are
Who's
9.
number 9?
Chiefs.
Come on.
Remember, they lost L'Jarius Sneed to free agency to the Titans.
Yeah.
They do bring back Trent McDuffie, Joshua Williams. Their safeties aren't as sexy of a name.
Sneed was clutch.
He was great, man.
Yeah, he
that
was.
punch out on Lamar, that
I don't
play
know
he
if he
made.
dropped to 9, though. My God. Who's won?
Jets.
Okay.
Sauce
I get
Gardner,
it. Yeah.
DJ Reed, Michael Carter.
Yeah, they're filthy.
Especially it's their cornerbacks boost. Niners at 2. Getting Hufanga back from his torn ACL will be a boost.
Yeah,
That's just always a
no.
good defense. I was surprised by 3 seeing the Buffalo Bills there.
The Bills lost every damn body on their defense.
Micah Hyde and Josh Poyer were only getting older. I didn't hate them departing with them. They get Taylor Rapp to fill in, which
I don't know
that was
about-
someone they got last offseason.
That's too high for them.
Rasul Douglas is good. Let's see if he can actually be a 1 for an entire season.
Where are the Browns top? Where are the Browns? They should be top 5.
6.
Okay.
Just outside.
They have their defensive unit, period.
Yeah. Behind the Ravens, but Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, but they lost Stone, which I was surprised.
Oh,
Browns,
Hamilton's
I would
so
push
good.
into top 5. Denzel
Yeah.
Ward, Greg Newsome, it stops there.
Yeah, me too.
I think the big connection, though, Jets, great secondary, great defensive line. Niners,
Yeah.
great secondary, great defensive line.
Sure.
Ravens, same thing.
Yep.
Dolphins,
Yeah.
same thing. Browns, they have the best defensive line, in my
Cohesion.
opinion. Exactly. There's a connection. The Packers are up there top 10. How good is your defensive line? How good are your corners? Because your corners can be the most talented, but if the quarterback has time, it's going to be for nothing.
For sure.
All right, now we'll move to the next level of the defense. PFF with the rankings of the linebacker unit.
The backers.
Where do you think the Patriots fall on this one? Linebackers.
I mean, their linebackers are way better than the secondary.
And this one is off-ball linebackers, so it's not taking really edge play into it.
I wonder. They're not going to be. What was the secondary? 21, right?
Yes.
They'll be closer to the middle of the pack, high end. I'll go 13 for the linebackers for Patriots.
Oh.
I'll go 13.
Wow, look at you, man.
What? I nailed it?
No, they're fourth in the NFL.
They ain't that damn good. Fourth?
I just know how to set you up for the reaction.
Nah, let's relax.
They just extended Jelani Tavai, which was a smart deal.
We're happy with that.
Only 27 years old. Juwan Bentley.
Fourth?
Captain of vet. They signed Sione Takitaki in the offseason.
Bro.
Off-ball linebacker, it's all about the defensive line play once again.
Yeah.
Where's your IQ? Do you know where to be? Can you call a defense?
Fourth.
And don't get blocked. Get off blockers and make the tackle. Because if the running back is to the second level or short catches, it has to stop there. It can't get past you.
Yeah.
Tavai was very solid this last season for the Patriots. I think he played their second most snaps. When Matt Judon went down, he was taking reps at edge too. Can drop back, play coverage, is young. Again, Gerard Mayo is your head coach. That's a former All-Pro, great linebacker. Now the head coach. That boosts the play.
Yep.
Then you have the experience of Juwan Bentley.
Yeah.
Taki coming over from the Brown system, which was the best defense in the league.
Yep.
So I do actually make sense of this ranking. I did think 4 was a little high, but off-ball linebacker, it's all about knowing where to be, making the right plays, being smart, and not leaving the rest of the defense out to dry.
All right, let me guess some. I mean, what comes to mind is Roquan Smith and the Ravens. That should be up there. They always have great linebackers going all the way back to Ray Lewis. They should be top 10, top 5. Where are they?
6.
Okay,
Good call.
I'm cool with that. Should be higher. Niners, Fred Warner. They're pretty damn good. They should be top 5, top 3.
They're 2. In my opinion, they should be 1 because Fred Warner's the best linebacker.
Who's
in football.
1?
The Jets.
Oh, my God. So the Jets are 1 in everything on defense?
C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams. That's right.
No, Niners should be 1. I'm with you.
I think this just speaks, right?
Yeah.
I think pure ability, you put Fred Warner on that Jets defense are even better.
Yeah.
If you flip Warner and C.J. Mosley, the Jets are even better than what they are.
Of course.
The Niners are even worse. They're not second best.
I think Fred Warner is a Hall of Fame talent. We'll see what happens, right? But he's a Hall of Fame talent. Let me ask you this. My personal favorite linebacking core in this league, outside of the Niners, because that's a filthy unit, better than the Jets. We agree. Indianapolis has some really good backers in Zaire Franklin and E.J. Speed. Where are they? Because I feel as though they're underrated, but Pro Football Focus should. That's an entity that should be showing love to underrated real ball players.
Travis.
I think the Colts will probably be around the teens, but they should be top 10. Those two are really good.
26.
I think they're the best tandem. I'm sorry?
26.
Who? The Colts?
Colts. I'll actually read the blurb from the PFF article.
Read the blurb.
Both Zaire Franklin and E.J. Speed are better in run defense and coverage.
That's
Franklin
true.
earned a 66 PFF run defense grade in 2023 compared to 56.4, while Speed was 78 in coverage. Speed was 78.8 in run defense, 56 in coverage. While Franklin led all linebackers with 132 solo tackles, he was also tied for third most missed tackles at the position in the regular season.
That is unreal. One guy led the league in tackles. The other guy, they said, listen, he doesn't cover too well, but he's stout in the run. But they're 20, what'd you say, 26?
26.
Bro, I hope that is bulletin board material for them boys.
Oh, it is for them. Someone on that staff's finding that.
Dog, those two are absolute animals, monsters. 26 out of all the bad defenses in this league, they're 26. That's insanity.
I do think the most solo tackle stat can be misconceived, where I watched Blake Martinez lead the league in tackles for the Packers.
Right.
Running back hits a hole, gets to him, he misses the tackle.
Sure.
Chases down the running back 20 yards later, makes a tackle.
Yeah.
He leads the league in tackles.
Right.
And just because you have the most tackles, that also means you have a bad defensive line in front of you.
Yeah,
So,
but George,
a lot
come on. He misses a tackle. He doesn't give up on the play. He hawks dude down and tackles him.
We're
That
talking
doesn't count to
linebacker
you?
ability. I'm talking about the stat of leading the league in tackles now.
Okay. Listen, I don't give a damn what you lead the league in. As long as it's not fumbles or drops or interceptions, like, I'm impressed. If you lead the league in tackles in the NFL, you are an absolute certified badass. And I just know from watching those games and seeing Franklin and Speed all over the place, absolute ball hawks. Now, I'll give you that, what they said in that article or in the blurb that they're not great in coverage, maybe. But I tell you one thing, if you have the ball in your hands, they are coming to get you. And they mean business. And they're showing up with bad intentions. I've seen them wipe people out in a league you can't even hit anymore. So, I think that's laughable to me, 26.
And
that's crazy.
But why they're getting doctors or poor coverage grades, because it's a quarterback league.
Yeah.
It's all about
really.
passing.
No kidding.
And as an off-ball linebacker, you have to help out your safeties, have to help out your entire unit, and you're dropping into coverage much more than you ever used to be. But that's why you and I both said Fred Warner, best linebacker in the league.
Yes.
He's built like a safety.
He can cover.
Zaire Franklin's small and athletic too. Small, quote unquote. He's not actually small. He's built like a safety as well. But that's what it's all about. Where this is why it actually surprised me.
Yeah.
When you think of Johnny Tavai, Juwan Bentley, those are those bigger thumper linebackers.
Yeah.
A few years ago, they were what you want. They were what Bill Belichick always wanted. Now you want the Fred Warners. You want the guys like that.
You have to
be the best in the league. At height of his power, Shaq Leonard, who was with the Colts.
Yep.
And Zaire Franklin had to play linebacker.
Yep.
That's what you want, that type of build. Sure, I mean, and the 49ers too, of course, Dre Greenlaw coming off that torn Achilles.
Oh, man.
Same thing, though.
Same thing.
Built big and athletic. That's why I love what the 49ers have. Even Eric Kendricks, when he was with the Vikings.
I remember him.
Same thing. Yeah, man.
Where is Cleveland? And here's another thing. So I know you said the Jets are one in secondary and now in linebackers, which whatever. But, I think Cleveland has a real case to be one across the board in all this stuff. They have a kid. The only reason I asked about Cleveland, I remember Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yep.
I was doing radio in D.C. during that draft, and literally every fan wanted that guy as linebacker. They don't take him, of course, because it's the Commanders. Of course they don't. And now he's a star.
Yeah.
So and also credit to you saying, look, your defensive line opens all this stuff up. All things are possible with a defensive line in the linebacking core and in the secondary. If your defensive line is stout, there's no more stout. I don't give a damn what these rankings are than Cleveland. So I feel like their linebackers should be up there. Or is this going to piss me off too, George? Are they 27 behind the Colts?
No, they're 8th.
Okay.
And it is all credit to Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
That's still low.
At Notre Dame, he was a stud. I remember watching him.
Absolute dog.
And again, an undersized linebacker, built more slender.
Yeah, what you're saying.
But
you
can
gotta be able
hit
to cover.
and can cover.
Yeah.
And that's the strength of off-ball linebackers.
Where are the Steelers? Same thing. Defensive line.
Should I just list through every? No, I'm joking.
No. I don't like looking at these lists because I'm going by what I watched. So I like coming to you with like kind of spitballing like what I watched in groups that I think are good.
You're at least 2 for 3 so far in like naming a group and saying, well, you named one or two both on that. Steelers are 13th. They brought in Patrick Queen over from the Ravens, so that's an upgrade. So
that's too low. Listen, I work at Nesson, so Pro Football Focus, sorry, you can't have me. But maybe you should consult with your boy before some of these lists because some of these are asinine.
I wish you could have like read into my Jersey Rolodex going through my head or the Jersey dictionary. We're like, I don't work at PFF. What I would have said the next would not have. I'm just gonna leave it there. You're a very polite guy, Trev.
Never change, George.
You're a very polite guy. All right, finally, defensive line. PFF ranking them. Where would you guess the Patriots rank for defensive line?
I like that D-line. I'll go. They should be top 10, but probably back end of 10. So they're around 10 or 11.
Oh, back end of 10. Got it. Like just outside top 10.
Yep.
15th.
Too low.
I think it's
It's
Josh.
just crazy.
It's Josh Uche still being a third down edge rusher. Yeah,
Whatever.
Barmore, Matt Judon. I think this is too low too.
It's too low.
Keon White's going to make a sophomore jump. Again,
Yes.
the consistency, Patriots fans,
Yeah.
in what happened on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Your new defensive coordinator, DeMarcus Covington, was the defensive line coach.
Facts.
What do you think he's going to build his defense around?
Yep.
Bringing out the best in Matt Judon, Christian Barmore, Keon White,
Yep.
Josh Uche,
Yep.
those guys. Where someone like Jelani Tavai can help out on the edge as well and contribute there.
That's right.
Kyle Duggar in the box can help out that defensive line as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it is, you pointed out, I think it's interesting you see these units, unit by unit by unit, being broken down.
Yeah.
End of the day, the defense doesn't only have a D-line out there. And what we've said too, there are names. There are dudes every level of this defense
Yep.
that contribute, that do their job, play at a high level. In the safeties, it's Jabril and Kyle Duggar.
Yeah.
At linebackers, Jelani. On the defensive line, I think it's going to be 3. Keon White, Christian Barmore, and Matt Judon, and they can
Yes.
get more from outwhere. So that's why, to me, this 15th ranking, F out of here, doesn't matter. Because I think this Patriots defensive line, Matt Judon, again, got hurt week 4 as well. Full season,
Oh,
this
I can't
Patriots
wait.
defensive line can be top 8 in the league.
I think this is going to be a revenge tour for Judon. I think he has a monster
wants to get
season.
paid, too?
Monster season. And
Yeah.
everything I've seen, his offseason has been stellar. He's ready to rock.
You had to guess who's number 1.
Well, the way this is going, the damn Jets. But who comes to mind for me, defensive lines? I'm going to go back to Kansas City. I think Pittsburgh. Obviously, for my money, I would say Cleveland. Myles Garrett is enough alone. Done. Sold. Thank you and good night. Tip your servers.
Cleveland's number 5.
Number 5.
The Detroit Lions are number 4 with Aiden Hutchinson.
I mean, I get it. They should not be ahead of Cleveland, but I at least get
and
it.
Aleem McNeil, when he's healthy, that whole
Let me
defense
guess.
changes.
Jets.
Who at 3? No, Eagles at 3.
No, it won.
No, I just hold on. I just like messing with you now.
No, I'm ticked because the
49ers
Jets are getting
at
everything.
2. Eric Armstead, by the way, went to Indianapolis, so he should help out Zaire Franklin.
Should. Niners at 2. They could be 1.
New York Jets at 1.
Man, look here.
Hassan Reddick, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald. Will McDonald's still a project.
Can anyone put vodka in my water? Is anyone available to put vodka in my water?
Bolivia. They still have Quinnen Williams, who's the best defensive tackle
I'm not
in the
saying
league.
they're not good,
Him,
George.
Dexter Lawrence.
Number
You don't
one.
like something here.
Bro, I'd put the Niners over them. I'd put Cleveland over. I'd probably have the Jets at 3, maybe 4. Where's Kansas City?
I would put the Packers higher up. Kansas City's just in front of the Chiefs at 14. Chris Jones, George
14?
Karlaftis was good. Yeah,
Nah.
it's a two guy show with them, but this is a unit again. What are the Jets going to be propped up by? Their defensive line will play better because of their secondary disrupting timing.
Yeah.
It's all intertwined. It's all
It
a web,
is.
my friend.
The Jets are loaded. I'm not trying to make this Jet bashing.
What did I tell you?
But
Why did I like them to win the division last year?
well, listen, bro. You know where the conversation's going to go.
Aaron Rodgers.
Your guy already. I mean, he's batting 1,000 already, isn't he? He's not showing up. He's at
Yeah, he was
darkness retreats. Is he going to run for president?
No.
What are we doing?
He was in Cairo, Egypt. Man.
Oh.
He's going out there getting cultured.
Oh, cultured. That's what we're calling it now. Back in my day, they called it shrooms.
Dude, he's hanging-
tripping.
Well, he's doing that too. He's hanging out with my people, hanging out with the Habibis. I do not talk down on Aaron Rodgers for hanging out in the Middle East one bit.
Hey, listen, man. Pro Football Focus, you let them tell it. The Jets are winning the Super Bowl because the
Yeah.
defense is number one in everything, and they're so great. And then Rodgers is going to come in and lead them to the promised land.
We need to get offensive coordinator rankings because then the Jets are dead last. Jets
Facts.
dead effing last.
Facts.
Hey, make sure to check out the latest episode of Boston has entered the chat. You can catch it every Monday through Friday, dropping on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review. And again, same thing. You can always watch us on YouTube as well. Go over to the Nesson YouTube page, hit subscribe, and then go to the playlist. You'll see Boston has entered the chat. Hold my banner, Foxboro Rush, 310 to left, Respect Your Game, Extra Time, all of that. You can subscribe and follow any of those podcast playlists, and those will populate right in your homepage.
George, I got to tell you, though, going back to linebacker talk,
Let's do it.
I covered some real linebacking cores. Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs.
Yep.
I mean, Baltimore almost built their entire brand on defense, obviously.
Well,
but
yes,
but in
yeah.
that like I got a chance early in my career to really cover some great linebackers. Even in DC, I got a chance to watch London Fletcher and cover him, who's one of the most underrated linebackers of all time. I almost think in this new, I don't want to go on a soapbox here.
No,
George,
go do it.
You got me going.
Go.
I almost miss that NFL because I feel like now in this league, all these linebackers have to cover. They have to, like, I'm not saying the old school didn't have to cover, but you just covered the running back coming out of the backfield, right? Mm-hmm. Nowadays, these guys, I mean, Christian McCaffrey is Randy Moss on the outside. Like, you got to account for these people. And I just almost miss, like, the thumpers, I think you said earlier in the show. Like, I miss pure linebacking play. I do respect this hybrid Fred Warner style that we're doing now. Almost feels like Seattle kind of ushered it in with the way they played defense. But I miss that old school, come up in the middle, plug the hole, and just knock your head off of your shoulders. I miss that kind of football, particularly at that position.
I'm happy you went on your soapbox because I pulled it up on my iPad. You remember that fourth down play, Ray Lewis against Darren Sproles and the Chargers?
Yeah, that was game winner.
Literally, yes. Game over. Read it perfect. Before the ball is even in Darren Sproles' gut,
yeah, it was awesome.
Ray Lewis is crossing the line of scrimmage and laying him the F out.
There's a lot of great linebackers along the way, like that we've seen in that era. And now they're not, because the way the NFL is now, George, they're just not celebrated as much. You could make the same case for corners. Like when I was growing up, Dion was the man, right? Shut down. They wouldn't even throw to Dion's side. Ty Law, someone here in town, shut down corner. Revis Island. I mean, we saw this. You don't really get that anymore these days.
It's all about the edge now.
Sauce Gardner's, I would call a shutdown corner. Before he started getting hurt a lot, Jalen Ramsey I would put in there too. But they're not celebrated. They don't have cool nicknames like they did when we were younger. I just feel like the game is changing, and it doesn't really help the defense much.
It's all about the edge now.
Yeah, you can pass rush,
and that's why.
Yeah,
the coverage is important, but if you can get to the quarterback, make hurries, make hits,
you're right.
That's more important than a guy that can plug a run gap.
Yeah,
or a corner that can cover a receiver. Because if you get to the quarterback before he gets open, you're fine.
Yeah,
both are important, but a defensive line props up the cornerbacks.
Yeah, I'm sorry I hijacked this. I just like talking ball, and I kind of miss the violence.
I grew up in that era too, man.
Yeah, man. Like I miss the violence of football. Like some of the violence on defense is gone. It's just gone now. It's never coming back. I feel the same way in hockey. Like I miss fights in hockey. You can't even fight anymore. Ticks me off.
Well, it's like what we did on the last episode of Rush, where we drafted our flag football Olympic team.
Yeah, that my team was better than yours.
No,
I remember that.
I mean, mine was leaps and bounds. Mine was so much better than yours. Mine would run circles around your team.
Literally.
But the fact that we were drafting a flag football team,
right,
and we didn't think much of it, that speaks to the game today.
Damn, well said, bro.
And there's always a talk of flag football will be the future in the NFL. The game gets quicker. It's all about offense. Can say what they want. It's where it's trending.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
All right, let's get into this. Is the fun off-season talk we get on Foxboro Rush.
Yep.
Let's go through the worst trades in NFL history. I'll start. I'll give you one.
Okay.
I think this one, for Patriots fans, you're going to love it. If you're a Raiders fan, you hate it.
I know where you're going now.
Randy Moss for a 4th-round pick.
That was crazy.
That's it.
I know. I mean, but listen, this is revisionist history. Like, he was a pain in the arse. Both of them.
He was still in his prime.
He hated the Raiders. The Raiders hated him. Like, they had to move off of him.
But only a 4th. This isn't the NBA. Only a 4th-round pick.
People thought he was done, bro.
1,400 yards, 23 receiving touchdowns. If David Tyree didn't exist, a Super Bowl ring.
Facts.
And they gave that up for a 4th-round pick.
That's crazy, man.
Chiefs got a first for Tyreek Hill. Shoot, the Steelers got a 4th-round pick for Chase Claypool.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, that just made my stomach hurt.
Raiders got a 4th-round pick for Randy Moss. I think that's what puts it in perspective as an awful
No, it's
trade.
definitely, I can't argue that. All right, mine's a little more intricate. Do you remember when Denver traded for Russell Wilson? I do, because I knew at the time this isn't going to work. Denver traded Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick to Seattle for Wilson and a 4th-rounder. Oh, by the way, Denver still, to this day, owes Danger Russ $85 million. 85 milli to get lost. Bruh. Come on, George. Come on, George.
2 firsts, 2 seconds.
We talk about how drafting a quarterback who's a bust sets your franchise back.
Trades like that.
Come on now.
Because now your team building's all about you got to pay for free agents. You don't have 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Right. So
Yeah,
Sean Payton gets that job based on the premise of you got to fix us. Like, we'll pay you whatever, but you got to fix us. This is a mess. We got to move off of this guy, and we got to reset, and we don't have any assets to do it.
He tried to make Russell Wilson kept the car on the road.
Yeah, he wasn't
Took
terrible.
care of the football. Sean Payton just hated him.
He hated him.
And now he's $85 million to go play football in Pittsburgh.
Crazy.
You and I are on the same path,
Yep.
mindset-wise.
Yep.
I went for that 49ers trade. Trade up to get Trey Lance.
Yeah, but at
Third
least
overall.
I'll say this about that, because you're not wrong. Like, that was dumb, clearly, in hindsight.
Yeah.
But they could pivot because of their system. And I don't want to, this is going to sound disrespectful to Brock Purdy. I don't want it to sound, it's going to sound that
He's a
way.
system quarterback.
I don't mean it that way.
System
because I
quarterback.
like him.
System
But
quarterback.
like, their system helps Brock Purdy. We'll
Yes.
just say that. And so the difference is in Denver, they had a moron for a head coach in Nathaniel Hackett when they acquired Russ. So there's no system in place. So then, okay, sure, you pay all the money in the world to Sean Payton. I get it. Why wouldn't you? But like, he has a system, and it's very strict, and it's so that's where I think some of this was. Russ wasn't terrible with Sean Payton, but he wasn't what Sean Payton wanted. He hated him. And I actually think, and I know you're not a Bo Nix guy, but Bo Nix fits what Sean Payton's system is. That's why I think Bo Nix will have success. But Bo Nix is not the athlete that Russell Wilson or Drew Brees in the past was in a Sean Payton system. So it'll be interesting to watch in Denver sort of how they recover from this Russell Wilson debacle. But you cannot deny it was an absolute debacle. So that's why I'll give the Niners a little bit of a pass, because a system was in place there to say, this Trey Lance thing is a train wreck. We got to pivot here. And they did, and Brock Purdy was able to have success in that system.
But this is them trading their 2023 first-round pick and a second-round pick to move up to the 3rd overall pick to take Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And he never even played considerable snaps for the team. Injuries drove him to Dallas. But even in Dallas, he never panned out to be anything.
It's not injuries. I got a buddy that works out in the Bay that told me during the draft
Here?
that they were like, he has scrambled eggs for brains. But the Niners, he's a good kid. He's not a bad person.
You have to be smart to run that system, and Brock Purdy can.
And also, what I was told is Trey Lance, and we know this, where he went to college is like a gimmicky offense.
Yeah,
so
it's North Dakota State.
So like, it was just too much for him, and he wasn't processing, and he was working hard, but he wasn't picking it up.
And he came off a full year not playing football because of COVID too.
That's
right.
But
then the Dolphins turned those picks, because where's the Dolphins picks?
Yeah.
Drafted Jalen Waddle, traded for Tyreek Hill, traded for Bradley Chubb with those picks.
Wow.
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, some other picks fall into that. And for Trey Lance, he's not even on the team. And then with a 7th round pick.
Right.
This is again a credit to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
Yep.
Massive mistake on Lynch's part doing that trade.
Yep.
But they traded for Christian McCaffrey, but an all-pro tight end, an all-pro offensive line, an all-pro defensive line, an all-pro running back, an all-pro receiver, 2 of them in Ayuk and Debo. I'm saying can play up to that level, not if they actually have it.
Fair.
An all-pro safety in Hufanga, an all-pro, 2 all-pro linebackers, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw.
Right.
Any other front office gets fired for that Trey Lance trade.
Yeah.
The 49ers are able to overcome it, which is nuts.
Well, their roster, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's a testament to how good that roster is. Here's one that comes to the top of my mind. I know you'll remember this. I'm sure Bears fans are going to just be ticked off when they hear it, but it happened. The Bears, people forget, traded up to take Mitchell Trubisky.
That's right.
And Deshaun Watson was there.
Patrick Mahomes.
But
no one saw Mahomes becoming Mahomes.
The
Watson one is worse.
Still, just the fact that you passed up on these guys to go get that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's terrible.
Did Chicago really dodge a bullet, though, by not taking Deshaun Watson?
No, because they would have
weren't gonna
had
get
years. They would have had some glory years before he got found out he was a creep. I mean, clearly he's been a creep, but they at least would have won some games before. Like Houston had success with Deshaun. Then, he's a creep, right?
He's a weirdo. Get him out of here.
The Bears traded up for a guy who couldn't play. I mean, there were other guys who could play.
I got one more for you.
All right.
Commanders trading up for RG3.
Yeah, but even that, George, like
Trav.
I know.
He went 14-21 with the team. He was gone after 3 years.
I was there. I get it.
To explain it to our listeners, Washington traded their first rounders in 2012, 13, and 14, and a 2012 second rounder
to the Rams,
to move
right?
up to number 2 overall to the Rams to get RG3. Robert Griffin III went 14-21 as a starting quarterback.
Yes.
Was electric as a rookie.
He was.
Got injured, but was not on the team after 3 seasons.
Okay. Listen, it's the same thing I told you with the Niners with Trey Lance. Right. Yes, it's boneheaded.
But that's on the evaluation of the player as well.
I get it. But hear me out. The Niners had a system and a roster in place where they could pivot and recover quickly. Here's a genius, and he doesn't get any credit. His son gets all the credit for being a genius. But here's a genius of the dad, Mike Shanahan, who said, okay, because allegedly he didn't want to do this. So they do it. Allegedly, he wanted Kirk Cousins late in that draft. So he put his foot down and took Kirk Cousins in the 4th round of that draft.
Yeah.
That move right there saved the franchise because RG3, as you said, rookie of the year, electrifying. He took the league by storm. Then he got hurt. Okay, let's pivot to this guy out of Michigan State. No one's paying attention to.
4th round pick.
And it worked. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I hear you. The move itself is idiotic. But the franchise, in both cases, Niners and Washington in this case, sort of had insurance, I guess, for lack of a better term. You had insurance that if this doesn't work, we have somewhere to pivot. I look at some of these other things like the Denver, Russell Wilson. Where the hell are they going? You couldn't go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. Like you're stuck. You're putting all your eggs in one basket.
Whatever it is, I mean, you can't push back when your owner wants RG3.
Right.
Because I'm going to say whatever it is,
right.
You could have the genius of you got Kirk Cousins at that spot.
Sure.
It's again on the evaluators.
Yeah.
And it again will be when you want it to go out.
Yeah.
And when you want this team to be picked and everything.
Yep.
You have to trust your football people.
Yep.
No matter what, to me, that's an awful trade. Mike Shanahan was able to overcome it.
He was.
With the way he constructed the team.
Mm-hmm.
But end of the day, I am blaming and I'm saying it's a bad trade. Because you know what? Football, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
It's a team front office. And I think it's what's crucial in ownership as we've seen through the NFL.
Yeah.
The most successful franchises. San Francisco, ownership's hands off. Kansas City, the Hunts take pride in them being in Kansas City.
Yep.
And they are paying for Patrick Mahomes, no problem.
Yep.
And they keep manipulating the cap to keep him around. But the Hunts don't intervene. Brett Veach and Andy Reid do it.
That's right.
Here in New England, for all those years, Bill Belichick ran the show. Robert Kraft eventually had to step in to save Mac Jones in the offense, to go get an actual offensive coordinator. Robert Kraft stayed out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Giants, the mayors, the Tishes, too much of them in those boardrooms, in those personnel offices.
Yep.
Too much, right?
Yep.
So that's why I say it's an awful trade. I understand what Shanahan did, but you gave up 3 first-round picks for RG3, who was before his time. But even when he bounced around the league to other spots like Baltimore, didn't work out.
No.
And it comes down to, in your evaluation process,
yeah.
when you're going in and you're going to give up all of these assets for Trey Lance, all of these assets for RG3, you have to be so certain he's going to be a hit. I don't need him to be all pro. I don't need him to be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he has to be.
But he has to work out where he's on your team.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, listen, it worked out in the end, George. I know we got to move on, but RG3...
No, I don't want to move on. Let's keep talking.
RG3 was a jerk to me. Kirk Cousins was nice to me, so it worked out.
Even though you didn't know he grills with tinfoil.
I did not know that.
I want to stick with this. We'll save our last topic, and I'll keep that as a tease for the next episode.
That changes everything for
Foxboro
me.
Rush that drops.
Grilling with tin foil is a game changer for me.
When you were in D.C. when this trade went down, what was your reaction?
I thought it was great.
Take us through the time machine.
I thought it was great.
So
they needed a quarterback.
Redskins come out and go, We're moving up, number 2 overall.
Excuse me, George. Did you watch this guy at Baylor?
Yeah, I did.
Did you not think he was going to work?
No, I did not.
Oh, well, all right. You're a genius. I thought he was the next big thing, and he was for a year.
Didn't know how to take hits, right?
Okay. You saw credit to you.
And
I was all in.
The system they're running in Baylor, just simply not a pro system.
Yeah, he
had a great coaching staff around him. Kyle Shanahan was on this staff. Mike McDaniel was on that staff.
Let me ask you this. Did you feel the same way about Lamar at Louisville?
No, I did like Lamar.
Okay.
I knew he'd be a project.
What's the
and
difference?
Lamar was end of the round. He was end of the draft.
Fair. So if Lamar went 3 or 1, you would have said too high.
I cannot look at this RG3 pick in a vacuum because of what they gave up.
That's fair. All right.
If they were picking 2 overall, stuck at it, and took RG3, fine. What is Jaden Daniels? What is Drake May?
Right.
They're going to have to work on them.
Yeah.
If the Patriots gave up their futures and took Drake May 3rd overall, I would be ripping the Crafts.
Yeah.
They stuck where they were. They took their quarterback, who I really do like, and I think that's great. Yeah. What did you give up to get to Robert Griffin III?
That's fair.
What was the fallout like then?
No, everyone was happy. No one. I promise you.
4 years later?
Oh, well, yeah, that's different. But you asked me at the time. At the time, everyone was on board with it. And by the way, and I always say I was there, right? This guy literally had the city in the palm of his hand. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had a black quarterback in Chocolate City as Rookie of the Year and like setting the world on fire. People also forget this. They had a running back at the time named Alfred Morris, who broke all kinds of records for rookie running backs. It was the 2 of them. They were a 2-headed monster. And you just thought, all right, here comes DC. I mean, they're going to be on top of the league for the next decade. And this kid just refused. They brought in true story. They brought in Nationals players to try and get this kid to slide. And he laughed at him. He was like, I'm not doing that.
Seriously?
Yeah. You got to get out of bounds. You got to slide. You got to. Nope.
See?
He was a jerk.
The arrogance, man.
The arrogance.
Even when he was in Baltimore, I remember him going out of bounds. I remember a particular play, and he stayed and take contact of the hit.
Right.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get out of bounds, slide. Anthony Richardson, Jaden Daniels. Can you guys do that?
Cam Newton had that issue.
He was so big.
But listen.
Mahomes learns to avoid hits. Josh Allen learns to avoid hits.
Mahomes is not a physical freak
Lamar
like
Jackson's
these guys.
gotten better at that, getting out of bounds.
He better. He wanted to get paid.
He's gotten good at that.
He wanted to get paid.
Hits.
Listen, some of this is this, though, George. You're being too hard on these guys. You have to remember, sometimes your gift is your curse. So if God specially made you this huge athlete of a quarterback, strong arm, big body, can run, that's who you are, man. And so your whole life you've been trucking cats and outrunning people and whatever. And so you get to the league and you get banged up a little bit. In your mind, it's like, I got to be better next time and truck harder. It's not the opposite of that. Your mind doesn't automatically go to, I better protect myself. No, that's not how these guys are wired. And if it was, they wouldn't have made it to this level. So you have to almost give them some grace in that sense. It has been their gift their entire life. So now you get to this level and you have all these coaches yelling at you to get the hell down. And you're like, no, I'm not getting down. This is who I am. You're not going to change me. But that's why I say it's a gift and a curse, my friend.
All the great quarterbacks know to live to play another
That's
play.
Right. That's right.
Take care of the football. No negative plays.
Yep.
When to get rid of it, even when to eat a sack. And that's my thing to that. Yeah, I understand. And I know. Like, that was Anthony Richardson's issue in college.
Yeah.
He was the size, if not bigger than the linebackers that were tackling him. He could run him over.
Right.
In the NFL, it's not the same.
That's right.
So he needs to learn how to avoid those hits. I do not care what you've been doing your whole life and what you were taught and your athletic ability. If you're a quarterback, you have to be the smartest guy on the field.
No question.
And the smartest guy on the team.
Yep.
An entire franchise relies on you.
Yep.
So RG3, I don't care. You should have learned how to slide.
Facts.
Trey Lance got hurt on a very normal running play.
Well, he
I
sucks.
put that on Kyle Shanahan for running a play where he doesn't have the sideline to get out of bounds.
He sucks. I mean, he sucks anyways. It wasn't going to work for him if he stayed healthy. It doesn't matter.
I would say same thing to Josh Allen. Learn how to not take hits.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of shots.
Drake May would run through dudes in college too. We got to watch for that.
Well, Drake May took a lot of hits in the pocket in college, too.
Yeah.
We got to watch for that.
Awful
Because
offensive line
oh,
he
my
had at
God,
UNC.
he was getting blasted. Good thing Caleb Williams doesn't run. I don't have to worry about that. He's going to age beautifully.
He can scramble, though. He
Yeah,
can
yeah,
get there.
he can. He's more Mahomes-ish.
Your first ballot Hall of Famer, 5-time Super Bowl
Absolutely.
champion, Caleb Williams.
No doubt.
Hey, that's it for this episode of Foxboro Rush. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. Thanks for listening along. We'll see you guys on the latest episode next week.